Welcome to Crime Over Wine Weekly. It's Monday, September 9th. I'm Heather Holley, and these are your crime headlines. There's new help in the search for a missing Tennessee teen with autism. Dwayne Dog the Bounty Hunter Chapman is joining the search for Sebastian Rogers. The 15-year-old was reported missing February 26th. He was last seen near his home in Hendersonville. In a social media post, Dog the Bounty Hunter asked followers to do their part to bring Sebastian home and says there's a $100,000 reward. If you have any information about Sebastian Rogers' whereabouts, call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office at 615-451-3838 or the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation at 1-800-TBI-FIND. Authorities discovered a Georgia woman's remains burning in a bag on the side of a road in 2007. Now her friend faces charges, but not in her death. DNA testing identified the victim as Nicole Alston last year. The Troup County Sheriff's Office announced the arrest of Angel Marie Thompson last week. She's charged with concealing Nicole's death, assuming her identity, and collecting Nicole's benefits for years. Authorities are still investigating who is responsible for Nicole's death. A New Mexico judge ruled against reopening the case against Alec Baldwin in the Russ Set shooting, citing a technicality. The prosecution filed a 52-page motion seeking to reinstate the involuntary manslaughter charge against the actor. The judge denied the motion because it exceeded the 10-page limit. The prosecution can resubmit that motion if it meets the court's requirement. The judge dismissed the case against Baldwin in July after learning the state concealed ammunition evidence from the defense. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Crime Over Wine Weekly. I'm so happy to have Michelle back with me this week. Michelle, I was so lonely without you.
Oh, I'm so sorry about last week. If anyone has ever dealt with migraines, then you'll understand. And one hit me last week, like big time. So I'm sorry that I wasn't here, but
You're feeling better?
I'm here now. Yes, definitely better. I had like another one on, it was either Monday or it was Tuesday, and that one was really bad too. But I think it's like hormones. But it sucks. But I'm here.
Yay. So you had yours, and then Liam had one Monday, and then I had one on Tuesday too. I was like, is this contagious? Are we all giving each other migraines?
I don't know, but man, it like is just awful when you can't do anything. Like it just ugh. So if you don't suffer from migraines, then consider yourself blessed, because it's just so hard to describe, and when it messes with like your vision and stuff, like it's crazy.
Slightly going off the rails here, but do you have one of those migraine caps?
No, and I have been so close to buying one several times, but I don't know anyone in person that has one. Do you have one?
I love it.
Do they work?
It gives you, like, it's the perfect coldness. It lasts a little longer than those normal, just like gel eye mask. But for me, it's the compression in like all the right places that it relieves that pressure too, like behind your eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it just,
okay.
It squeezes in the right place. It stays. It blacks out everything too. So if you have the light sensitivity, I keep mine like stored in the fridge inside of another container. So since it is fabric, so that it doesn't like pull in any food odors or anything. But
yeah,
yes, absolutely 100% recommend those.
Okay. Well, then you have sold me, and I might have one on the way by the end of this podcast.
On Amazon in the commercial break.
Yes, definitely. Like, do they get stuck in your hair?
Mm-hmm. There's no Velcro or anything in it, and it's a smooth material. It's not like satin like a pillow. They may make them like that now, but the one I have isn't. But it's not. I don't ever have it stuck in my hair.
Okay. I don't know why, but I guess I assumed that like the inside was like a rubbery, and I don't know why I think that, like just my brain thinks that for some reason.
It is internally, but it has like a fabric cover around it. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Look at you being such an influencer.
Such a migraine influencer. Maybe this week I'll be a wine influencer too. Maybe people will like the one I picked this week.
I've been so excited about this. And also, like, I feel like I say this every time you pick a wine, but like, there's so many wines out there that are very like on brand for Heather Holley. Like, and this is another one. Like, it's like they're never ending, I swear, but I love it. So, tell us about the wine that you've picked.
This one is called Once Upon a Vine. It's the Big Bad Blend. And the bottle itself, really cool artwork. It's like a wolf hiding in the trees. It looks a lot like the Once Upon a Time, the ABC show, like the posters and images they did for promotions. So it does give that kind of vibe too. But this one's black and red, has a big bad wolf peeking out from behind one of the trees. And like the fairy tales for which they're named, our Once Upon a Vine wines each have a rich and enchanting story to tell. It's a blend of several red varieties. The Big Bad Red blend appeases our inner dark side, satisfying that craving for the bold and daring. The wine leads with a bramble of berries, dark black plum, and root beer flavors, framed by toasted spices. Fleshy and ripe, the palate delivers layers of black fruit with a savory and spicy character. Subtle tannins hold flavors into a long-lasting finish, a perfect pairing for a dark and stormy night.
Ooh, I love how the wine is described as fleshy and ripe. That's perfect for a crime podcast.
It's fleshy, but like not in a gruesome, weird way, in a sensual, seductive way.
Okay, I'm excited to try this. So let's go. It smells good.
I like it.
Okay. Wow.
Like, it's not just a quasi. That's a genuine like. It's very smooth, but still very bold.
That is good. And like just this weekend, I mean, in a lot of places in our country, like we have gotten such a taste of fall. And so I feel like a red for these like cooler temperatures and like the breeze and like it's just I was totally feeling a red. So
yeah, this would be a good fall one. I wonder how this would be good. Is it mulled when you heat it up, like a mulled wine? I feel like this is one that would be good, like warm as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or like just by a fire would be good.
Look at you.
I like it. Good job, me. Mm-hmm. We picked a good one. Or, I literally walked in and it was at eye level on the shelf and I said, yep, I like that. I like that bottle. I like that price point. Let's do it.
This is really good. Like, this is a very easy to drink wine. And it's like very satisfying on so many levels because it's smooth. There's like a lot of flavor, but it's not like way too much and it's not like too sweet. I like it.
I would like to be sitting like in a historic castle with like a storm happening, sipping this by a fireplace.
Like the scene that popped in my mind when you like said that was like when it was storming outside of the castle in Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, that. Give me my library. Give me my fireplace. You can keep the beast.
Keep the beast. I do, like, Beauty and the Beast is, like, my favorite Disney movie. Like, it really is.
Have you seen my tattoo?
Have I seen your tattoo? You have several. Oh my gosh!
It's Belle. And it's a stained glass mirror with Belle in it.
No, how did I not know that you had that?
It takes up my whole side of my leg.
Yeah, what you guys couldn't see is Heather had her entire leg lifted up so that it could be in the camera. You guys might not know this, but we do this like over the internet. Like so just picture her like,
it is
like
lift flexible.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm gonna have to like come and see that like in person at work.
Do that. Yeah, do that.
Do that. Okay. We have a lot to talk about on this podcast. Obviously, like we've missed each other and we're totally vibing. So stay with us and we'll be right back after these messages.
Crime Over Wine is sponsored by BetterHelp. As someone who's used therapy for years, I know that finding a therapist can sometimes be a stress on its own, juggling your full-time job, your family, your friends, your podcast, and trying to find the right therapist on top of that can almost feel impossible. That's where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp matches you with a therapist that works for you on your terms. It's online, it's remote, and by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you to one of 33,000 licensed professional therapists in as little as a few days. And because finding a new therapist is a lot like finding a new bottle of wine, if you don't jive with your therapist, you can easily switch to a new one at no additional cost. You can get 10% off your first month of BetterHelp by going to betterhelp.com/crimeoverwine. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/crimeoverwine for 10% off your first month. Join over 4 million people who decided to get help and get happy with BetterHelp.
Authorities in York County, South Carolina need help finding a man who hasn't been seen for more than 2 months. Jeremy Dean Falls was reported missing by his father on August 16th. The 38-year-old was last seen walking away from his home on June 20th. Authorities say there have been several credible tips, but so far they haven't led to Jeremy. He's described as a white man, about 6'4", with brown hair and blue eyes. It's unknown what he was last wearing. Investigators say he also owns a home in Gastonia. If you know anything about Jeremy Falls' disappearance, call the York County Sheriff's Office at 803-628-3059.
A California woman has been at the center of a search for 5 years. Cheryl McBee was last seen in the Whitmore General Store in eastern Shasta County on January 20th, 2019. She was driving her white 2005 Jeep Liberty. Her Jeep was found 1 day later in a small creek. Authorities found some of her clothing, but Cheryl has never been found. Her family believes she may be suffering from mental illness. Cheryl may use the last names Copithorn or Troop. Cheryl is 48 years old, 5 foot 2 inches tall, about 160 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. She has a tattoo of the constellation Orion on her left foot. If you have any information, call the Shasta County Sheriff's Office at 530-245-6025. And now to my case of the week. 23 years have passed since a University of South Carolina student was reported missing. Shelton Sanders was a student at the university and worked as a computer programmer for the university's medical school. Authorities say Shelton had been with his friend Mark looking at potential bachelor party venues. His mom reported him missing on June 20th, 2001, when the 25-year-old didn't show up for work the next morning. 2 years after his disappearance, his white 1988 Oldsmobile Regency was found in the parking lot of an apartment complex. 2 years after that, Mark Anthony Richardson, who authorities say was the friend that Shelton was with the night he went missing, was charged with his murder. An investigator on the case told ABC Columbia that they used cell phone records to determine Mark was at the location where the car was found. But there was not a body or location of remains, so when Mark went on trial in 2008, it resulted in a hung jury, and the judge declared a mistrial. The family believes Shelton is dead, but they are asking for information on where his remains are. The family is offering $50,000 for information leading to the discovery of his remains. If you have any information, call the Shelton Sanders Information Hotline at 803-427-4209. So I kind of did a little bit more digging to find out more information about this, because it was to me, like, this is just crazy. So the connection between Mark and Shelton, obviously they were friends, but like how good of friends. Mark was Shelton's former college roommate, so they know each other pretty well. And the night that he was out with Mark and they were looking at bachelor party venues, Shelton had called his mom to say that he was coming home late, and that call was around 8:30 at night, and Shelton never showed up. So investigators say that from cell phone data, the two were at several hotels between 9:30 at night and 10 p.m. And then they returned to Mark's between 11 and 11:30 p.m. A neighbor that lived near Mark heard 3 gunshots near Mark's home. So the neighbor walked over to find out if everything was okay, like what happened. And Mark talked to the neighbor and said everything was fine and that his car had backfired. So now, like, let's fast forward to when the car was found 2 years later. Mark made statements to investigators that led the focus to be on him. Things like, this is what he asked investigators. Let me ask you a hypothetical question. Is there such a thing as an accidental death in South Carolina? That's something weird to say to investigators when they're investigating a missing persons case and that person might not be alive. And then also, he asked investigators, how can I explain getting rid of a body? That's a little weird too. So Mark told investigators that he did help look for his friend, and then after that, he refused to say anything else. So obviously, despite these like very weird statements to say to investigators, when it went to trial, essentially because there wasn't a body, there wasn't like that type of evidence that juries really like to see. They couldn't come to a decision. So like the number one question is like, could this case be tried again? And yes, it can. And the family, Shelton's family, believes that other people could have information in the case. And so that's why they're like, we're not going away. We deserve at least the closure of having his remains and being able to do with them what we want. And this case has even caught the attention of former Dallas Cowboy Emmitt Smith. So it's crazy that, I don't know, like, I really think about, like, what could have happened? Like, you guys were, you know, and this is allegedly if Mark did it, because he is innocent until proven guilty, but like, you guys were going and looking at like bachelor party venues, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like an exciting time. Like, you guys are making plans. There's like something really, like a really cool memory, like coming up here in the future. So like, what could have happened to have turned, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and who was getting married?
Mark, I believe Mark was.
Yeah, and I mean, the person you take with you to look at your bachelor party, like planning and stuff, that's probably your best man, typically. So, I mean,
Yep.
it's not just like former college roommate. The scenario indicates a close friendship there. And I'm sorry, does he think everyone else is stupid, or is he stupid, Mark? Because your car backfired 3 times? That's not how that works.
Like, yeah, like something, whatever it was, whatever the neighbor heard, they heard 3 of, and it was enough to where, like, we're talking about 11:30 midnight at night, like, here's something and is alarmed enough to go and check on your neighbor. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, car backfire's not the lie I would provide in that situation. And then, is there such a thing as an accidental death? What? What?
Yeah.
Why
I don't
are you
like
asking these questions? I'm sorry, like, ask an attorney. Don't ask the police if you commit a crime. If there's like a like legal loophole for you there, because
yeah, like those are questions that you should be asking someone who can represent you.
the police are gonna say
Not
IDK. Let's find out in jail.
yeah, not use against you in a court of law. So they're like, I don't know. I just really what struck me is like, I just really think about like that friendship and just, yeah, exactly. Like, what could have gone wrong to like turn it like 180? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, the fact he asked about accidental death, like, maybe it was an accident because, boys in South Carolina, a lot of them like guns. And if they're, getting ready for the bachelor party or whatever. Maybe they were out there messing with some guns. And maybe they weren't totally sober. This is all speculation. I don't know these people at all. I just live in the South. So maybe there was a horrible accident and he didn't know what to do. But still, like, this man's actions do not look good. Like, the questions and the comments to the neighbor, not promising. Like, does not make you look innocent.
Mm-hmm. So, I just really hope that someone does, if they do know some sort of information about this case, like, do the right thing, come forward and talk about it. Let this family have the closure that they so much desperately deserve at this point, and let justice prevail.
So you said this captured Emmitt Smith's attention, the football player. So what, is he offering a reward or something?
Not a reward that I've seen, but he has like helped create the hotline, the Shelton Sanders information hotline, and then also like there's a Facebook page that's out there that just like really helping get his name and the story out there, so that more people that have heard about it can come forward and just give the exposure.
That's still really great because he has the platform to get that out there. So we definitely love seeing people with that stature helping where they can, because that's one of the best ways they can get back to their community.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes, like, people don't feel comfortable talking to the police. They don't feel comfortable, even if they are trying to do the right thing. There just isn't trust there within some communities. And so, if someone feels more comfortable calling a hotline to give their information, then yeah, like that's a small fix, like something small that can be done if it means that's what needs to be done to help solve this case.
And what's that number again?
So the number to the Shelton Sanders Information Hotline is 803-427-4209.
All right. So if anyone out there can help this family, let's do it. Let's help them. Let's get some closure and answers. Still to come on Crime Over Wine Weekly, authorities are still searching for a woman who vanished in 1978, plus an arrest in a 1996 cold case, what led investigators to reopening the case.
Crime Over Wine is proud to support Emancipet. Today, there are over 60 million beloved pets across the country whose families cannot access or afford veterinary care. With your help, Emancipet is changing that. Emancipet is a nonprofit that offers low-cost vet care for those who need it most. They rely on donations to keep their costs low for pet families across the country. You can support Emancipet's mission at emancipet.org.
Hello, Crime Over Wine listeners. I am Rachel.
And I'm Heather.
We are the hosts of Like Mother, Like Murder.
We bring you the good, the badass, and the crime.
Each week, we bring you stories from missing and murdered
to survivors and women who empower you.
And of course, some mom talk sprinkled in.
Check us out wherever you get your podcasts at Like Mother, Like Murder.
And give us a follow on social media so that we can say hi.
Okay, love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye.
Investigators continue to search for a woman missing out of Pennsylvania. Joanne Williams was 22 when she was reported missing on December 7th, 1978. Police say she left her home in Scranton to go to an exercise class at her dance school. She left the dance school around 10 o'clock that night and never arrived home and was never heard from again. 9 days after she went missing, her car was found unlocked with her paycheck and purse undisturbed. She was declared legally dead in 1991. If you have any information about Joanne Williams, call Pennsylvania State Police at 472-8477.
A 16-year-old boy is missing in Florence, South Carolina. Master August Johnson was last seen on June 8th. There aren't many details available surrounding his disappearance, but authorities say he may stay in the area or travel to Horry County, Richland County, or Dorchester County, South Carolina. He may also go by August. Master is described as a black male with short, dark hair and brown eyes. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children says to use caution if you see the teen. Do not approach him and contact law enforcement immediately. If you know anything about Master Johnson's whereabouts, contact the Florence Police Department at 843-665-3191. And now turning to my case of the week, a family finally has some closure in a nearly 2-decade-old cold case. Doris Carell's body was discovered on December 15, 1996. The 45-year-old was found floating in a drainage canal in Manatee County, Florida. According to the medical examiner, Doris was stabbed 83 times. She also had signs of trauma on her neck and face. However, the investigation didn't advance much further due to a lack of evidence. Another key piece of this case. At the time, detectives in Manatee County didn't know police in St. Petersburg were searching for this woman. Doris's daughter reported her missing. She told police Doris's boyfriend said she went shopping after the couple got into a fight. Doris's car was later found at the local mall, but there was no sign of Doris. NBC reports Doris's boyfriend, Stephen Ford, made, quote, troubling statements and attempted suicide in the following days. Ford denied any involvement in Doris's disappearance, and he eventually moved to Delaware. The case was given new life in 2017 when new information came to light. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office says acquaintances of Doris told investigators she and Ford were having domestic and financial problems. Cold case detectives say Ford's behavior in the 90s, quote, showed a clear pattern of consciousness of guilt. The Sheriff's Office says evidence and Ford's deliberate attempts to mislead law enforcement are probable cause that he killed Doris. Investigators now believe Ford drove Doris's car to the mall and wiped it down. Authorities arrested him near his home in Georgetown, Delaware on August 16th. Ford was extradited to Manatee County where he remains in jail. Ford is now 72 years old. He's charged with second-degree murder. According to the Florida Attorney General's office, Ford said, quote, my past has come up to haunt me after his arrest.
Wow. It honestly sounds like he has probably lived all these years looking over his shoulder.
It does, like, to make that comment and the actions that he took, that he attempted to die by suicide in the time after her disappearance. The man has been paranoid, to say at least.
Which, I mean, if someone does something like that, if you take someone's life, like, I think there can be nothing worse than to have that haunt your mind for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? I think that's even worse than jail.
Yeah. And even if it was an accident, like, even if you didn't intentionally kill the person and then you try to hide it, that's gonna weigh heavy on your heart and your conscience for the rest of your life.
Wow. It'll be interesting to see, will he take a plea deal just to be done with it? I wonder, like, just given his age, will they give him some sort of lighter sentence, especially if he does take a plea deal?
I haven't seen him plead one way or the other yet, because this arrest just happened and it was an extradition as well. So will he confess to it? But I do think his age will play a big factor in it. He's 70-something. I mean, a life sentence might be 10 years.
Yeah. And we hear, like, about domestic violence so much in the crime world. And all you have to do is break up with somebody or divorce them. Like, in all actuality, it is not that bad. You know what I mean? Compared to what comes with taking someone's life and all of the things that come with that, both like emotional and mental and, you know, judicial. It's just like all of this could have been avoided had it just ended. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't get the mentality of, like, if I can't have you, no one can have you, or like, yeah, I know it hurts and you may feel you'll never recover from that, or they were the one. And maybe they were, but maybe you weren't the one. And if you really love someone, you have to let them go. And then maybe it'll work out in the future after you both do some more growing, healing, whatever needs to happen.
I, like, agree 100%. Because it's just, like, so much could have been avoided. You just done the healthier thing. Okay, so I think we are both in very much agreement that this is like a good wine, a good pick.
Very much. I would put this in my top 5.
There you go. Top 5er.
Of the ones that we've picked. Like,
I do like it. I'm already like done with a glass. So
like this one it rivals with Prophecy. I will put it up there to compete with Prophecy.
We haven't had a Prophecy wine in a minute. We haven't done their like red line.
No, we only have like 2 left, so I was trying to like put a little break in between there.
Okay.
Because we'll run out, and then we won't have any Prophecy. Are we allowed to revisit wines that we like?
We can.
We'll be revisiting this one.
I like that. Maybe we can revisit like the favorite for a milestone episode or something.
Maybe. Like our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Which is
like not that far away.
Like, that is rapidly approaching. Time is fleeting. Death is imminent. And so is our 1-year anniversary.
Oh, man. Okay.
Hey, thanks for listening, everyone. If you can't get enough of Crime Over Wine, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And don't forget to check out our website, crimeoverwine.com. The store is officially open. And I've heard from several people that you've checked out the store and you're wanting to get stuff. Go ahead and put those orders in. And also, while you're there, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter.
We will see you this Wine Wednesday for an episode of Crime Over Wine, and we'll see you next Monday for the next episode of Crime Over Wine Weekly.
Proud member of the Podnuga Network.